Right. So again, we're going deep on a discovery that like totally changes what we thought we knew about dogs in the Americas.
Uh-huh.
You know how we always say dogs have been our best friends for like thousands of years?
Right.
We'll get ready to add a few more thousand to that timeline.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
talking Ice Age people.
Yeah, Ice Age. We're going way back.
This is a fascinating paper in Science Advances about some finds in Alaska.
Incredible finds. Yeah.
Okay, so what did they actually find that's got everybody so excited?
Well, at Swan Point, Alaska, researchers found a 12,000-year-old canine leg bone.
Whoa.
And that's a big deal because it pushes back the timeline for human-canine relationships in the Americas like a full 2,000 years earlier than we thought.
12,000 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew dogs had been around a while, but that's just mind-boggling.
It is.
But think of these canines like roaming around with humans during the Ice Age.
Yeah.
It really paints a picture.
It does. It certainly does. And it wasn't just one find either. At another site nearby called Hollenbeek Hill, they found a slightly younger jawbone dating back about 8,100 years.
Wow.
And both of these sites, by the way, have a long history of archaeological research done in partnership with local tribes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that collaboration. And, speaking of connections, the article mentioned Evelyn Combs.
Right.
She's a Healy Lake tribe member and archaeologist.
Yeah.
And she talks about this special bond between humans and dogs.
Yeah.
That's existed for ages, which, I think a lot of us who have dogs today can relate to.
Absolutely. There's a real sense of continuity there.
Yeah.
Connection that stretches back through like millennia.
Totally. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
This discovery isn't just about like how old the bones are. It's about the relationship these canines had with humans.
Right.
And the evidence for that is in their kind of unusual diet.
Their diet, yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
All right, so chemical analysis of these bones shows that these canines ate a lot of salmon.
Really?
And that's pretty surprising because in this area and time period, canines were mostly hunting land animals.
Oh, wow. So are you saying
Yeah.
these dogs weren't catching the salmon themselves?
That's what the evidence suggests, yeah.
What?
It really points to a close relationship where humans were providing food for these animals.
That's incredible. So does this mean we found the earliest domesticated dogs in the Americas?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky.
Okay.
While this find definitely indicates a very close relationship, there's still debate about whether these were fully domesticated dogs or maybe tamed wolves.
So how do scientists actually define domestication?
Right.
Is it just about genetics, or is there more to it?
That's a great question. It's not just about genetics. Domestication is a complex process, like a species gradually adapts to living with and being dependent on humans.
Okay.
It involves changes in behavior morphology, even genetics.
Oh, wow.
Think about the differences between a wolf and a pug.
Right.
Same species, but domestication has resulted in some pretty dramatic changes.
Yeah, for sure. So with these Alaskan canines, we're not quite sure where they fall on that spectrum from tamed wolves to domesticated dogs.
Exactly. But regardless of their precise classification, the evidence suggests a strong bond with humans.
Yeah.
And that raises some interesting questions about how we understand the earliest migrations to the Americas.
You mean like, did dogs play a role in those migrations?
Exactly. For a long time, the prevailing theory was that dogs were domesticated in Eurasia and came to the Americas with humans. But this discovery opens up a whole new possibility.
Okay.
What if dogs were already present in the Americas?
Interesting.
Perhaps even playing a role in helping those early human populations adapt and survive.
That would be a huge shift in our understanding of history.
Right.
So how solid is the evidence for this salmon-sharing human-canine connection?
Yeah.
Could these dogs have been scavenging the salmon on their own?
It's a good question, and scientists considered that possibility. But here's the thing. They compared the chemical signature of these canines' bones to other animals from the same time period and region.
Oh, wow.
Including foxes and wolves.
Okay.
And they found that these particular canines had a significantly higher proportion of a specific nitrogen isotope associated with a diet rich in salmon.
Interesting.
The other canines were eating mostly land animals as expected.
So that really sets these canines apart.
It does.
It seems like the salmon connection is pretty strong evidence for a close relationship with humans.
It really is. And you know what fascinates me?
What's that?
Is that this discovery challenges us to think about what it really means to be a dog. Is it just about specific physical traits or genetic markers?
Yeah.
Or is it also about the relationship, about the way these animals interacted with humans and became integrated into their lives?
It's almost like we have to expand our definition of dog to encompass not just the biology, but also the history, the relationship, the shared experience.
I think that's a great way to put it. And this discovery in Alaska adds another layer to that story, highlighting the deep history of the human-canine bond in the Americas and the ways in which it may have shaped our shared journey.
It's amazing to think about how much we can learn from a single leg bone and some ancient salmon dinners.
Yeah.
It just shows how much there is still to discover about our past.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder what other secrets are still hidden out there waiting to be unearthed.
Well, this deep dive has certainly sparked my curiosity, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling it too.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground from the initial discovery of the bones to the chemical analysis of their diet and the implications for understanding both dog domestication and human migration.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I think one of the key takeaways here is that our understanding of the past is always evolving as new discoveries come to light.
And that's what makes archaeology so exciting, right?
Yeah.
There's always something new to learn, always another layer to uncover.
Precisely. It's about embracing the mystery and letting the evidence lead us to new insights and perspectives. And sometimes those insights come from the most unexpected places, like a 12,000-year-old canine leg bone found in Alaska.
Okay, so we've established that this discovery is pretty groundbreaking.
Uh-huh.
But what does it all mean for us today? Why should someone listening to this deep dive care about what dogs were eating 12,000 years ago?
That's a great question. I think for me, it highlights the incredible depth and complexity of our relationship with dogs.
Yeah.
It's a bond that stretches back millennia, connecting us to these ancient populations in a way that few other relationships can.
I can definitely see that. It's like looking into a mirror and seeing a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of our physical evolution, but also in terms of the social and emotional bonds that have shaped who we are as a species.
Exactly. And it speaks to the enduring power of that connection. The fact that despite all the changes our world has undergone, that fundamental bond between humans and dogs remains.
Yeah, it really makes you think about like all the different roles dogs have played in human societies throughout history.
Definitely.
From hunting companions to protectors to, like, let's be honest, professional snuggle buddies.
Yeah,
It's clear that this bond has taken many forms over the years.
absolutely. And this discovery in Alaska adds another dimension to that story. You know, we're not just talking about domesticated dogs as we know them today. We're talking about a relationship that may have been like instrumental in human survival and adaptation.
Yeah, in a challenging environment.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, what would those early migrations have looked like without those canine companions?
Right.
Would humans have been able to spread throughout the Americas as effectively?
It's a fascinating question to ponder. And while we may never know for sure, this discovery certainly suggests that dogs may have played a more significant role than we previously thought.
And, it's not just about the practical aspects either. There's something deeply moving about the idea that even in those harsh Ice Age conditions, humans and dogs were finding solace and companionship in each other.
Yeah.
It speaks to a fundamental need for connection that transcends time and circumstance.
I couldn't agree more. It's a reminder that the human-animal bond is not just a modern phenomenon. It's something that's been woven into the fabric of our existence for tens of thousands of years.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a whole new appreciation for that bond. And I have to say I'm a little bit envious of those archaeologists who get to uncover these incredible stories firsthand.
As am I. It's a privilege to be able to delve into the past and piece together these fragments of history.
Yeah.
And who knows what other amazing discoveries are still waiting to be made.
Exactly. And that's what I love about this field. There's always something new to learn, always another mystery to unravel. So to our listeners, if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to keep exploring. We'll be sure to include links to the Science Advances article and more information about the archaeological sites in the show notes.
And if you happen to have a furry friend by your side right now, give them an extra pat or a treat in honor of those ancient Alaskan canines who helped pave the way for the incredible bond we share with dogs today.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the past.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep diving deep.